The studio lights blazed down on the vibrant set of the Kelly Clarkson Show, where the audience buzzed with anticipation, their cheers erupting as Kelly Clarkson, in a sparkling blazer and jeans, bounded onto the stage, her signature grin lighting up the room. "Y'all, we are in for a treat today," she belted, her Texas drawl warming the crowd. "We've got the one, the only, Miranda Lambert, country music's fiercest firecracker, here to talk about her new album, Postcards from Texas, and maybe spill some tea on her life with that handsome husband of hers, Brendan McClellan." The crowd roared, waving signs that read "We love Miranda." And Kelly plus Miranda equals Queens. As Miranda strode out, her denim jacket glittering under the lights, her smile tight but professional, she waved, her boots clicking on the polished floor, and settled into the plush chair next to Kelly, who leaned in like they were old friends catching up at a dive bar. "Miranda, girl, you look like you just stepped off a tour bus and into our hearts," Kelly teased, her laugh infectious. "How's it feel to be back with a new record? I mean, Postcards from Texas is straight up fire." Miranda nodded, her lips curving slightly. "Thanks, Kelly. It's been a wild ride, you know? This album's all about home, heartbreak, and maybe a little hell-raising." The audience chuckled, but there was a flicker in Miranda's eyes, a hint of something guarded, like she was sizing up the room. Kelly, ever the pro, kept the vibe light, tossing her hair back as she leaned closer. "Okay, but let's talk about the real stuff. You've been married to Brendan for 6 years now, and y'all are still all lovey-dovey. What's the secret to keeping that spark alive?" Miranda's smile stiffened, her fingers tightening on the armrest. "Well, Kelly, it's about trust, communication, and not airing your laundry on national TV," she said, her tone clipped but playful enough to draw a laugh from the crowd. Kelly tilted her head, undeterred. "Oh, come on, give us a little something. Like, do you all fight over who gets the last beer in the fridge?" The audience giggled, but Miranda's jaw twitched, her eyes narrowing slightly. "We manage just fine, thanks," she said, her voice cooler now, and Kelly, sensing the shift, pivoted smoothly. All right, let's talk music. Your single A Wranglers is a banger, but I heard you had some drama at a recent show, something about calling out fans for fighting? Spill the tea, girl." Miranda's posture stiffened, her arms crossing. "You know, Kelly, I don't think it's drama to expect people to respect the music. I work hard up there, and if folks are more into their phones or their fists, maybe they shouldn't be at my show." The crowd murmured, some nodding, others shifting uncomfortably. Kelly raised an eyebrow, her smile faltering but still game. "Fair enough, but you've had a few moments like that, right? Like the selfie incident in Vegas?" Some fans felt a little stung by that. Miranda's eyes flashed, her drawl sharpening. "Stung? Kelly, I'm up there pouring my heart out, and people are snapping selfies like it's a photo booth. Maybe they should try listening for once." The audience gasped softly, the tension palpable now, but Kelly kept her cool, her voice steady. "I hear ya, but fans just wanna capture the moment, you know? They love you." Miranda leaned forward, her tone biting. "Love me? Then maybe they should act like it instead of treating my show like their Instagram feed." The crowd's murmurs grew louder, a mix of cheers and uneasy whispers. Kelly, still smiling but with a glint of challenge in her eyes, leaned back. "Okay, but let's be real, Miranda. You're a star, and stars get attention. Doesn't that come with the territory?" Miranda's face hardened, her voice dropping low. "Kelly, I didn't sign up to be a sideshow. I sing about real stuff: love, loss, life. If people can't respect that, maybe they don't get me at all." The audience fell silent, the air thick with anticipation, as Kelly's smile wavered, her fingers tapping the desk. "All right, let's take a quick break, y'all," she called, her voice bright but strained, as the cameras cut to commercial and the crowd buzzed, sensing something was off. Miranda stayed seated, her eyes fixed on the floor, her expression unreadable, while Kelly glanced at her team offstage, her usual warmth tinged with unease. The stage manager signaled for the break to end, and the audience clapped on cue. But the energy had shifted, like a storm brewing just out of sight. Miranda adjusted her jacket, her movements sharp, as Kelly launched back in, determined to steer the ship. "We're back with Miranda Lambert, and let's lighten things up. How about we talk about your Mud Nation work? Saving those pups is so close to your heart." Miranda nodded, her voice flat. "Yeah, it's important. We've helped thousands of dogs find homes, and I'm proud of that." Kelly beamed, trying to recapture the spark. "That's amazing. Tell us about your favorite rescue story." But Miranda's eyes were distant, her words clipped. "There's too many to pick one, Kelly. Every dog deserves a chance." The crowd clapped, but the applause felt hollow, and Kelly's laugh sounded forced as she pushed forward, unaware of the fuse she'd lit, the one about to spark a moment no one in that studio would forget. As the interview rolled on, the studio's energy crackled with an undercurrent of tension, the audience leaning forward, their eyes darting between Kelly Clarkson's megawatt smile and Miranda Lambert's tightly coiled demeanor. Kelly, ever the seasoned host, tried to keep the vibe upbeat, her voice bubbling as she tossed out another question. "Okay, Miranda, let's get into something fun. Your album's got this Texas swagger. But I gotta ask, any chance we'll see you and Brandon two-stepping in a music video soon? I mean, that man's got moves." The crowd hooted, expecting a playful response, but Miranda's lips pressed into a thin line, her eyes glinting with something sharp. "Kelly, why's it always got to be about my personal life? Can't we just talk about the music for once?" The audience gasped audibly, a few fans whispering to each other, their signs drooping slightly. Kelly blinked, caught off guard but quick to recover, her laugh light but tinged with nerves. "Oh, girl, we love your music. I'm just saying, you and Brendan are so cute." Fans eat that up. Miranda shifted in her seat, her boots scuffing the floor, her voice low and edged. "Fans might eat it up, but I'm not here to serve my marriage on a platter. I'm a singer, not a reality star." The crowd's murmurs grew, a mix of supportive cheers and uncomfortable shifts, as Kelly tilted her head, her smile unwavering but her eyes narrowing slightly. "I get that, Miranda, but you know how it is. Fans feel like they know you, especially with songs as personal as yours. Like 18 Man? That one hits deep." Miranda's jaw clenched, her fingers drumming on the armrest. "Yeah, and maybe that's why I don't love people turning my shows into their personal photo ops, or turning my life into tabloid fodder." The dig landed hard, and Kelly's smile flickered, her fingers tightening on her coffee mug. "Whoa, hold up, we're just having a chat here, no tabloids involved," she said, her tone playful but with a hint of steel. The audience laughed nervously, sensing the shift, as Miranda leaned forward, her voice cutting through the room. "Are we, Kelly? Cause it feels like you're fishing for something juicy to keep the ratings up." The crowd gasped louder now, a few fans clapping for Miranda's boldness, others staring wide-eyed at Kelly, who leaned back, her expression a mix, abashed and amused. "Okay, Miranda, I'm just trying to keep it real with you. This show's about connecting, not stirring up drama." Miranda scoffed, her eyes flashing. "Connecting? Feels more like prying to me. You wanna talk real? Let's talk about how hard it is to stay authentic when everyone's waiting for you to slip up." The audience was fully on edge now, their whispers buzzing like static, as Kelly raised her hands, her voice steady but firm. "Miranda, I am your biggest fan, you know that. I've covered 18 Men like a million times. I'm just trying to show the world who you are." Miranda's laugh was sharp, almost bitter. "Maybe the world doesn't need to know every piece of me, Kelly. Maybe I'm tired of being dissected." The tension was electric, the studio lights feeling hotter, as Kelly tried to pivot, her voice softening. "All right, let's talk about something else then. Your work with Mud Nation. Tell us about that." But Miranda was already shaking her head, her hands gripping the chair. "You know what, Kelly? I'm not feeling this today. I came here to talk music, not to be grilled about my life or my shows." The crowd's murmurs swelled, a few fans shouting "We love you, Miranda." As Kelly's eyes widened, her professionalism holding but barely. "Miranda, come on, "We're just talking, no grilling here," she said, her laugh strained. But Miranda was already standing, her boots stomping as she tugged her jacket straight. "I'm done, Kelly. I don't need this," the audience gasped in unison, their phones snapping photos as Miranda turned, her hair swinging, and started toward the stage exit. Kelly stood too, her hands outstretched, her voice rising. "Miranda, wait, let's just come on, girl, don't do this." But Miranda didn't look back, her silhouette sharp against the stage lights as she walked off, leaving the crowd in stunned silence, their cheers and gasps mingling as Kelly stared after her, her smile gone, her hands dropping to her sides. The stage manager signaled frantically, and Kelly forced a laugh, turning to the audience. "Well, y'all, that's live TV for ya. Let's take a break and come back with more." The crowd clapped, but their eyes stayed glued to the stage exit, where Miranda had vanished, the air heavy with shock and unanswered questions. The commercial break didn't ease the tension in the studio. If anything, it amplified it, as the audience whispered furiously, their phones glowing with texts and social media posts about Miranda Lambert's dramatic exit from the Kelly Clarkson Show. Crew members scurried backstage, their headsets crackling with urgent chatter, while Kelly stood at the edge of the set, her arms crossed, her usual sparkle dimmed as she conferred with her producer in hushed tones. The audience, still reeling, traded theories. Some thought Miranda was just being her fiery self, others wondered if Kelly had pushed too far. When the cameras rolled again, Kelly bounded back to center stage, her smile brighter than ever but her eyes betraying a flicker of unease. "All right, y'all, we're back, and let's keep this party going," she called, her voice a touch too enthusiastic, drawing scattered applause. Miranda had to step out for a bit, but we're gonna keep the good vibes flowing. Let's talk about her incredible album, Postcards from Texas, and maybe I'll sing a little something for y'all later. The crowd cheered, but their energy was split, half-hearted claps mixing with curious glances toward the wings, hoping Miranda might reappear. Kelly sat at her desk, her fingers tapping nervously as she launched into a monologue about Miranda's music, her voice warm but careful. "You know, Miranda's always been about keeping it real, whether it's in her songs or how she handles her shows. That's what makes her such a legend, right?" The audience nodded, some shouting "Love you, Kelly." To fill the awkward silence, offstage, a stagehand whispered to another about Miranda, who was reportedly in the green room, pacing and muttering about not signing up for this. Kelly, unaware, kept pushing forward, her charm working overtime. "So, let's talk about A Wranglers, y'all. That song's got this fierce energy, like Miranda's saying, 'Hey, don't mess with me.'" She mimed a sassy hair flip, earning laughs, but the crowd's eyes kept drifting to the empty chair. A bold fan in the front row shouted, "Is Miranda okay?" And Kelly's smile tightened, her laugh quick. "Oh, she's fine, just needed a breather. You know how it is, live TV's intense." The audience chuckled, but the tension lingered, like a chord left unresolved. Kelly pivoted to a safer topic, pulling up a clip of Miranda's recent Mud Nation event, her voice softening. "This woman's heart is huge, y'all. She's out there saving dogs, making a difference. That's the Miranda I know." The crowd clapped louder now, warming to Kelly's sincerity, but the absence of Miranda loomed large, her empty chair a silent accusation. Backstage, the producer approached Miranda, who was sipping water, her boots tapping impatiently. "Miranda, we'd love to have you back out there. Kelly's singing your praises," the producer said, her tone gentle but urgent. Miranda shook her head, her voice low. "I'm not here to be picked apart. She kept digging into my life, my shows. I'm done with that." The producer nodded, backing off, as Miranda's phone buzzed with texts from her team, urging her to reconsider for PR's sake. Out front, Kelly was mid-story, sharing how she'd covered Miranda's Tin Man on her show, her voice cracking with emotion. "That song, y'all, it's like Miranda's heart on a platter, and I feel so honored to sing it." The crowd melted, their applause thunderous, but a few fans whispered about Miranda's walk-off, some calling it diva behavior, others defending her need for boundaries. Kelly, sensing the split, leaned into her authenticity, her eyes shining. "Look, we all have moments where we need to set a line, right? Miranda's real, and I respect that. Let's give her some love." The audience roared, signs waving, but the energy felt forced, like everyone was trying to ignore the elephant in the room. Kelly glanced at the empty chair, her smile softening. "All right, let's do something fun. Who wants to hear a little 18 Man right now?" The crowd erupted, and Kelly grabbed her guitar, her voice soaring as she sang, pouring her heart into Miranda's lyrics. Backstage, Miranda paused, hearing Kelly's voice through the monitors, her expression softening for a moment before hardening again. She turned to her manager, her voice firm. "Get me out of here. I'm not going back." The manager nodded, ushering her toward the exit, as Kelly's song filled the studio, a bittersweet echo of what could have been a moment of unity between two country queens. The audience sang along, their voices rising, but their eyes kept flicking to the wings, hoping for a resolution that wasn't coming, the weight of the moment settling over the room like dust. The show pushed on, but the shadow of Miranda Lambert's walk-off hung over the studio like a storm cloud, the audience's energy a mix of awe and unease as Kelly Clarkson powered through with her trademark resilience. She strummed the final chords of Tin Man, her voice raw and emotional, and the crowd leapt to their feet, their applause deafening but laced with questions. Kelly set down her guitar, her smile wide but her eyes searching the wings, as if hoping Miranda might stride back out, boots clicking, ready to laugh it off. "Y'all, wasn't that fun?" she called, her Texas charm cranked to 11. "Miranda's music just hits different, doesn't it? Let's keep celebrating her." The audience cheered, but their claps felt like a placeholder, their phones already buzzing with posts about the drama. Hashtags like #MirandaWalksOff and #Kelly vs. Miranda trending in real time. Kelly, ever the pro, moved to the next segment, introducing a clip of her and Miranda's duet of "Good Luck, Babe." From earlier in the taping, her voice bright but strained. "You guys, Miranda and I had a blast singing this one together, so let's take a look." The screens lit up with the pre-recorded performance, Kelly and Miranda's voices blending in perfect harmony, their smiles genuine as they belted out Chaperone's hit. The crowd cooed, momentarily distracted, but the contrast between the joyful moment and the current tension was stark, like a sunny day turned sour. Offstage, the producer huddled with the crew, their voices low but urgent, debating whether to cut the show short or pivot to a new guest. Sunglasses,